Brian Nickel with Kevin Rohde back at Everly Montgomery Field in Longmont, getting ready for the Fort Morgan Mustangs and the Skyline Falcons. Skyline has they have a player basically like Brush does in Rosenbrock as their quarterback, Garrett Angstead. He's a passer, he's a thrower, he punts. Anything, he'd probably keep stats on the sidelines if you needed him to, but he seems to be their main attacker, so that's somebody that the Mustang defense is going to have to try to corral this afternoon.
If they don't do that, Brian, Mustang defenders are going to be seeing number 6 in their sleep because they're going to see him with the ball a lot tonight or today.
So Skyline has played 2 games. Angstead has 430 yards passing. He's averaging 123.5 yards rushing. So, and he has 338 yards, 677 actually total yards so far in just 2 games. So he's tearing things up. So,
absolutely. I think today's game is going to be, like most football games, come down to who executes. Skyline's coming off of 2 weeks ago, a loss, 1-point loss to Thompson Valley, who Fort Morgan was supposed to play last week and ended up canceling due to the flooding. Earlier in the year, they had played Niwot and lost by a touchdown. Not really sure how strong Niwot is. Thompson Valley seemed to have won a few games. They were doing good. They were 2-1 before, or 2-0 before they lost. Sorry, I'm not really following that. They lost last night to Windsor, which is a good team. So I really don't see either one of these teams going to dominate it. I think it's going to be who makes mistakes and who does their assignments and win the game.
Yeah, Morgan coming off of that tough loss to Brush. They played a lot better game in their second game than they did that first game, even though they beat Berthoud. The opening kickoff is brought to you by Ingmar Phillips Insurance with 2 locations in Brush and Fort Morgan. Ingmar Phillips can help you with your home, car, health, or life insurance questions or needs. So Skyline will receive the ball to start the game. So we'll see what the Morgan Mustang defense can do to stop Skyline on the first attempt, see if they can corral them, keep them out of the end zone anyway, keep them from moving downfield too fast to start the game out. That may be kind of a feeling out type of area here, but
Skyline in black shirts with red numbers trimmed in gold helmets with red numbers on the top, and looks like a falcon on one side, and white pants with red stripes. Morgan in their all white uniforms, white helmets, white shirts, white pants with, I guess, cardinal or maroon trim. And for those of you listening that like to visualize, Fort Morgan's going to be kicking from left to right. Skyline will be moving the ball from our right to your left.
So ball on the tee, ready to get going, get their foot into it, and it gets down to about the 10. Picked up at the 10, running to the right on the outside, gets a lane onto the outside. He is knocked down about the 30-yard line, so it's going to be 1st and 10 for Skyline, and they're marking it, looks like right at the 30-yard line.
Nice run back. The receiver had to catch it on the bounce. He was able to bring it in and go off to the right side. Looked like they'd set up their return to the right side. Fort Morgan defender angled them out of bounds like they're taught to.
So Angstead goes probably 99.9% from the shotgun formation, and that's what they're in now. They have 2 receivers, right and left. One man goes in motion. He fakes the handoff, and he's going to be pressured in the backfield. He runs out to his left. He's out to the 30, to the 35, to the 40, 45 to the 50, and then he is not stopped until he gets to the 45-yard line of the Mustangs.
No penalties on that play. Just looked like he wanted a quick in on the left side. When that didn't happen, all the defensive backs had cleared off to the far side of the field, and he scrambled to his left towards us, made it up the sideline for a really nice 25-yard or 15,
25-yard gain, yeah.
Very nice.
He looks pretty quick. I thought maybe they had that corner shut off out there, but the two receivers right going to hand off over to the right side. It's going to be a 5-yard gain down to the 40-yard line. And that was by number 85, I believe, Ian Rodriguez.
That's a new runner for them.
Unless they've changed numbers here. But so second and 5 from the 40 for Skyline. One receiver left, 3 right, actually. One back in the backfield. Rolls out to his left, looks downfield. It's an incomplete pass. Nice. It was a good pass. It would look like it was just out in front of the receiver. It had a nice pressure from Toby McBride, who knocked Angstead down after he threw the ball.
It was kind of a fake run, and then the defender or the wide receiver went down and pretended like he was going to block the corner and then released down. Fort Morgan's lucky that pass wasn't on target because he had broken free and clear.
So Skyline now with 2 receivers right and left back in the backfield. Angstead keeps it out here to the left, and he is tackled and brought down at the 46-yard line, and that's Eric Kimball, defensive end, does his job as containment, and he took Angstead down of 5, so it's going to be now 3rd and 10 from the 40-yard line. It's going to be 4th down, excuse me. So 4th and 10. So a nice stop there by the Mustangs. Get a punt, and it almost blocked. Nice high punt. And fair caught at the 9-yard line by the Mustangs. So nice stop there for the Mustangs. So they'll get the ball now at the, we're going to call it the 8-yard line, and see what the Mustangs, if they can come out and control this ball a little bit and keep it out of their hands.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether that was the best option to catch that. It's really in that hard-to-decide zone. The ball's coming down at the 8. If you let it go, chances are on this artificial turf is going to bounce in. But if you don't catch it and it goes out at the 2, the coach is going to be on you.
Yeah. A lot of times, though, they say inside the 10, you let it bounce, but that was close. It's at the 8. So receivers left and right, eye backfield. Schneider under center. Gets it, and he's a fake handoff. A little pass out here in the flat, but it is a short pass off the hands of Toby McBride. So that'll bring up 2nd and 10 from the 8-yard line.
Kind of surprised for a Fort Morgan team that prides itself on establishing the running game to come out first play and throw a little, flare pass out to running back. Possibly that's what they scouted. Skyline might know that it's run and might be packing in the middle to stop the run.
So Schneider under center, receivers left and right. Take hands off over the right side. Now to over to the number 25, and that is Jared Bohm, and he's going to be dropped for a loss back to the 5-yard line. So that's going to bring up that's a loss of 3, excuse me, so bring up 3rd and 13 for the Mustangs.
Well, the defense had a good start at 3 and out. Now the offense, what do you do from your 5-yard line? 3rd and 13. You don't want to take a lot of risks, but you don't want your defense to have to come right back out either.
So Schneider under center. He's got receivers 2 to the right, looking. Pass downfield. Let's see if he can get to it. No, overthrew, and his receiver was Isaiah Lopez. So Fort Morgan now forced to punt from their about their 6-yard line.
And Lopez was open on that. I think from watching it, he got bumped by the defender about 10 yards downfield, and that just threw off the timing of it. Otherwise, it would have been a big play for the Mustangs.
Yeah, it makes a difference. If you can bump that receiver off the line, throws him off just a little bit. So now Tony Swetzik, we'll see if he can get off a good punt here. He's due. He hasn't had a real good one yet this year. He's got time. Kind of a low line drive, but it's over their head. It bounces at about the 50 and bounces back. There it goes back across the 50. And it's going to roll, we're going to say, at the Skyline 45-yard line.
That's good exchange of field position. They punted. We got it at the 8. We punted. They get it back at the 46, where they had it at the 45 before.
So we'll see what the Falcons have in store for us on this drive. Angstead in shotgun formation with 3 receivers to the right and 2 to the left. 1 man in motion to the right. Angstead back, looks downfield. It's a pass down to the left sideline, and it's going to be caught at the 20 and dragged, and the receiver is dragged down, and they're going to put him, they're going to mark him clear at the 9. I thought that's where he slid to, but they're going to give him progress clear down to the 9-yard line.
That was a nice throw. He wasn't completely open, but they had room in the back, and by the time the Fort Morgan defender looked up to see the ball sail over his head, that gave him another step, and luckily he was able to catch up with him and stop the touchdown.
So Angstead has a nice touch on the ball. So they come out, 2 receivers left, 1 to the right, 2 backfield with Angstead in the shotgun formation. He takes it, and he hands it off up the middle. Not too much there. They're going to give him down to the 7. So it looks like they're going to give him 2 yards. So second and goal from the 7-yard line.
Not sure why they're running Ian or
number 85 is Ian Rodriguez. Over to the left
side.
side. It gets a snap pass into the end zone, and it's going to be a touchdown for Skyline. Nice pass to the left into the end zone. And that is going to put Skyline up 6-0 with 8:18 to go in the first period.
It's like that was 23 maybe. Which would be Benny Jacobs.
Yeah, he was a name I recognized in some of the materials we were looking at. So they're going to try the extra point, and the kick is up. And it is good for Skyline. So Skyline 7, Fort Morgan nothing on B106 and B106.com. Back at Everly Montgomery Field in Longmont, the Skyline Falcons had just taken the lead over the Fort Morgan Mustangs 7-0. On a 55-yard drive. Ended in a touchdown to Benny Jacobs, 7-yard touchdown pass from Garrett Angstead. So now Fort Morgan will have to try to answer that drive. They don't want to get too far down in this game, so they need to answer and come out with some movement on the offense. Kickoff downfield. It looks like it's going to go out of bounds, and it is. So that's a break for the Mustangs. So that'll be 1st and 10 for Fort Morgan.
They get that out of 35 on a kick out of bounds, I believe.
They are setting it at the 35.
I re-evaluated my stats, and on that last exchange of punts, actually, so I'd say gain 9 yards on them, rather than them gaining 1. But it's academic, 3 plays and 55 yards, 7-0 Skyline.
So Fort Morgan, T formation. Looks like they got a tight formation like they're wanting to run now. So handoff up the middle. And that is going to go to Jared Boehm, and he's going to get about 2 out to the 37-yard line. So that brings up 2nd and 8 from the 37 for Fort Morgan.
Tough yards inside for Fort Morgan. Skyline stacked in the box. They do look like they have a couple pretty healthy-sized fellas there in the middle.
So Fort Morgan coming out. Kimball spread way right. Anderson left, I backfield. Schneider under center. He takes it and gives it off to Jared Boehm over the left side. He tries to get outside and does to the 40, to the 50, and he is down across into Falcon territory. Nice run by Jared Boehm outside left side. He gets it down to the 48-yard line of Skyline.
Fort Morgan's offense is now in positive yardage after that play. It was a nice run. He bounced off one guy and broke it to the outside. Very nice run.
So same formation as last time. Kimball way right. I formation. Handoff over the right side this time to Jared Bowman. He gets outside to the 45, down to the 40, down to the 35. He ducks his head to the 30. He's dragging tacklers, and he takes him clear down to the 25-yard line. So a nice run there by Jared Bowman, this time around the right side.
Now we have the Skyline coaches scrambling to figure out how to stop the outside run, and maybe that'll free up McBride and Boehm or Boehm up middle a little bit more as well. Very nice run.
So 6:57 and counting in the first period. Skyline 7, Fort Morgan nothing. But Fort Morgan with a nice drive starting from their 35-yard line. They're now currently at the 25-yard line of Skyline. So same formation as last. One receiver left and right. Handoff this time up the middle to Toby McBride, and there's not much there. They're going to give him maybe 2 down to the 23.
Looked more like a rugby scrum there with both teams completely surrounding the player and both pushing and trying to get a little bit forward.
So Schneider coming in with getting his play from Coach Chisholm. See what they can accomplish here on 2nd and 8 from the 23. Schneider under center. I formation. Schneider still looking over the defense. He goes back. It's going to be a pass, and it's going to be intercepted. Oh, nope, it was dropped. An ill-advised pass over the middle, about down to the 20, and dropped by the linebacker. Lucky thing, because if he had got that, he might have been gone. So,
yeah, I think ill-advised is the best adjective for that pass. There was a guy deep on the left-hand side, pretty well covered, and then the linebacker out there by himself who was surprised to have the ball hit him in the chest.
That's probably why he plays defense and is not a tight end. So 3rd and 8 now from the 23. Fort Morgan hands off to Jared Boehmer on the left side, and it's not going to be there this time. He's going to be brought down at the 30-yard line. No blocking on that time on the left side. So that's a loss of they're going to put it back actually to the 31, so that's going to be a loss of 8. That's going to bring up 4th and 16 for Fort Morgan.
Like to see that new field goal kicker, Benny. Was it Benny or Franny?
Franny Gonzalez.
Franny Gonzalez, give it a try from here, but Coach Chisholm deciding that maybe the passing game is a better chance.
So we have a timeout taken by Skyline, so we'll take one with him. With 5:04 to go in the first period, Skyline 7, Fort Morgan nothing on B106 and B106.com. Back at Longmont, this is Brian Nickel along with Kevin Rohde. 4th and 16 for the Mustangs from their 31-yard line. So they've got to get down to the 15-yard line to pick up a first down. Schneider under center, 3 receivers right. He rolls out to his right, looks downfield, looks. It's going to be passed, and it's going to be tipped, and it's going to be incomplete. They're going to say incomplete. It been close for a first down, but it was tipped initially and then dropped by Fort Morgan. So that is a turnover on downs to Skyline with 4:56 to go in the first period.
That pass reminds me of the Hail Marys, not quite as long, but just thrown up there, and 2 or 3 defenders and a couple Mustangs all vying for the ball. And as they fell to the ground, the last guy to have a chance was a Mustang, but it slipped past him and under the ground.
Yeah, I thought he had it there for a minute, but it got away from him. So now Skyline 1st and 10 from the 31. Angstead in the shotgun formation. He hands off to his running back coming the left. He's out to the 30, out to the 35, possibly the 35. Hard to tell. The Skyline players are Looks like they're going to mark it at the 35, so that'll be a gain of 4. So it'll be 2nd and 6 from the 35-yard line for Skyline.
Benny Jacobs' first carry for the Falcons today.
So Skyline right back up to the line of scrimmage. Man in motion right to left. Sets up in the backfield. It's going to be a run to the right. Angstead has it. He's at the 35, and he is brought down short of the first down. Looks like they're going to mark him at about the 38-yard line for Skyline. So I'll bring up about third and 3 for Skyline.
They come out with twin receivers to the left. That's got to make you nervous when you have a passing quarterback.
One right, 2 backs in the backfield. Fort Morgan's bringing pressure. They run over the right side, and he cuts it out to the 50. And then he is forced out in Mustang territory. And they're going to mark him, we're going to say, at the 48-yard line of Fort Morgan. So it's going to be a first and 10 for Skyline from the Fort Morgan 48.
13-yard scamper for Rodriguez. And Fort Morgan seems to be a little bit lost out there on defense right now.
This is the one time Angstead went under center, but he's rolling out right here, getting pressure from Kimball, but Kimball gets by him. There was a man over the middle. Angstead overthrew him, so incomplete pass. Nice pressure there by Eric Kimball coming in from his right side defensive end. But Angstead overshot his receiver.
And he was throwing to number 5, a senior. I guess they don't have the size of, oh wait, I'm on the wrong page here. Number 5, Forsyth, a 6-foot senior, and he was standing tall out there and had a good chance to catch that ball, but it was overthrown.
So Angstead back in the shotgun formation, looks back, looks downfield, keep looking, not any pressure on him. Oh, he gets hit late from the backside. It was a complete pass. Nice hit from Toby McBride just after he released it. But it's going to bring up 3rd and 1 for Skyline from the 39-yard line. So we'll see what they come up with here from the 39-yard line, 3rd and 1. Angstead back under center, I formation. Sends his man in motion. Now it's going to be handed off up the middle. He'll get his first down. He gets it down to the 35-yard line. So that'll be a 1st and 10 for Skyline from the 35.
I'm wondering whether Rodriguez just really had a good week of practice to beat someone out, or whether maybe someone got hurt and isn't playing and he's stepping up, but he's doing a great job for him. That's his 5th carry already, and all of them for positive yardage.
So now Skyline, Angstead looking to the coaches for the play. And 3 receivers right. Angstead gets the ball. Fake pass. Then he lets the ball go. And it's going downfield, but it's going to be well over the head of anybody down there, receivers or defense. And he had some pressure on him when he threw it that time. He had to get rid of it. So that'll bring up 2nd and 10 from the 35 for Skyline.
For those of you who watch pro football, the stats they keep, that was a knockdown. As he threw, he was knocked to the ground. Good pressure being put on by Fort Morgan. They're pretty much there hitting him right as he lets go, and that's going to wear and tear on him as the game goes by.
So Angstead, 3 receivers right, 1 left, gets the ball, rolls out to his left, keeps rolling. He gets some pressure again. It's going to be incomplete, in and out of the hands of his receiver, number 23, and that is Joe Benavides. So that's going to bring up now. I thought they were saying it was a complete pass, but no, it was bobbled and dropped. The chain gang was starting to move their yard marker over there. So now 3rd down, 3rd and 10 from the 35 for Skyline. Gets the pass. He's put some pressure underneath of him, and it's going to be caught, but it's only for about a 4-yard gain. Must have rolled out. They're starting the clock again. So we're gonna say a 5-yard gain to the 30. So it's going to bring up 4th and 5 from the 30-yard line for Skyline.
That was really clutch catch by Benny Jacobs on that play. He was spun around by the ball, but he caught it and made a few yards on it.
Fourth down, Angstead rolls out to his left, trying to get outside, and he is caught at the 20. They have a flag down. Maybe they're going to get this big defensive or offensive tackle out here for holding. We'll see what they're going to call illegal man downfield. So that is going to come back. So I'll bring up fourth down again for the Skyline Falcons.
It was the big tackle, but he wasn't holding. He was just too far downfield. In high school football, and I believe in college and pros as well, there's a certain limit as to how far downfield an offensive lineman can get before. But it looks like it's only a 5-yard penalty. That certainly doesn't seem like what I would think.
You would think it would be at least a 10-yarder, but anyway, 4th and 10 from the 35. Skyline, I thought they were going to punt, but I'm not so sure. Well, Angstead punts, so he is lined up at the 45, but he's rolling out to his right, rolling, getting pressure by Fort Morgan. You need to try and get him down. He throws it, and it's going to be caught. At the 15-yard line. We have a flag coming in from the left side. Flag thrown from the far side. Coach Chisholm is having a talk with the referees over there. I'm not sure just what the penalty. They have a flag here, too. Ineligible man. Of course it was. They thought he was going to punt, and they took off downfield. So they didn't inform all the players what the play was supposed to be, apparently. So another 5-yard penalty. So I'll bring up 4th and 15 from the 40.
I don't think the Falcon coaches are happy with the fact that he had to scramble for his life and barely got that ball thrown. And that's probably what allowed the lineman to sneak downfield a little bit.
So they're lined up in the punt formation again. This time it looks like he will punt. It does. It's a wobbly punt to the right side. It does take a nice bounce, and it's going to bounce into the end zone. So Fort Morgan will take over with 1:07 to go in the first period, with Skyline leading 7-0. State Farm Insurance. Let the State Farm Insurance office of Greg Mullen and Brush help you find the best policy to fit your life. Home, auto, life, health. State Farm Insurance is here for you and your family. Give Greg Mullen a call today, 842-4555. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Mustangs from the 20-yard line with 1:07 to go in the first period. Handoff to the left side. Off to the right side, to Jared Bohm, and he is not going to get anything there. They're going to mark it just barely outside the 20, so it's still going to be 2nd and 10 from the 20 for the Mustangs.
Seems to depend on where the defensive end plays. If he crashes in, that's when that play works and they can bounce it outside. Skyline's made the adjustment to box their ends and keep them to the outside and not allow that to go for big yardage.
So Fort Morgan now in a full house backfield, and the right guard takes off before the snap, so that's going to be a dead ball foul on the Mustangs. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 15 from the 15.
We talked at the beginning of the game about mistakes. That's an example of one that you don't think 5 yards is that big a deal, but now you go from 2nd and 9, which you have 2 plays to make decent yardage, to 3rd or 2nd and 14.
So Schneider under center, full house backfield again. This time handoff around the left side, and that is to Jose Fadoa. He gets around to the outside. He takes it out for a Fort Morgan first down. Takes it out to the 31-yard line. So nice 15-yard, 16-yard run there for the Mustangs to get out of that hole, make first down, 1st and 10.
And I believe that's the first time Fadoa has actually gotten and made the corner all season. He's ran the ball several times. He's kind of the guy that Coach Chisholm said was going to be his speed guy. And it's nice to see that he's finally making a contribution.
So the end of the first quarter, Skyline 7, Fort Morgan nothing, but driving on B106 and B106.com. Brian Nickel with Kevin Rohde back here at Everett Montgomery Field. Started the second quarter. Fort Morgan on the 31-yard line. Takes a snap, hands off up the middle to I'm not sure who it was.
It looks like a different number.
40. We'll let you know here in a minute. Number 42. That is Cody Birch. He gets it out to the 35. So that's going to be 2nd and 6 from the 35 for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. So Cody Birch, his first carry of the game. Fort Morgan in a full house backfield. Takes it, hands off to the right side to Padoa again. He gets it outside, out to the 39-yard line. Gain of 4. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 2 for the Mustangs.
Maybe the Mustang coaches in offense are saying if you want to pack them in, we'll just go full house. And those plays are called ISOs, or isolations, where the first backs go up, and generally you leave either the defensive end or the linebacker open, and it's called isolating them, and they've got to take on that fullback blocker, and you cut off their block.
So Fort Morgan under center hands it off up the middle, and I'm not sure he got the first down on that one. Let's see. He did. Yes, it was. And I believe that was Cody Birch again.
Yes.
Got it. They're going to. They're giving him the first down. So nice hard running there by Birch. He goes out. So 1st and 10 for the Mustangs from the 41-yard line.
Yeah, he was stopped, and everyone kind of settled down, and he did one of those spins where he just rolled over and got another couple yards, saved the drive.
He has some strong legs. He was hit initially about the line of scrimmage. So 1st and 10. Schneider hands off over to the left side. First initially hit in the back, Fadoa. And then he is brought down for a loss back to about the 38-yard line. So that's going to bring up 2nd down and 13 for the Mustangs from the 38-yard line. So Fadoa goes out. I didn't see if Birch replaces him or not. I know they're trying to get Fadoa to get him to the outside. He's supposed to be their speed back, so they need to try to get him into some open space. So Fort Morgan in the full house backfield. Schneider under center takes it, pitches backwards, and he is hit. Number 21. Couldn't see if that was 21 or 27.
Mustangs 21.
21, Elliot Wunsch. So he gets it out, maybe a half a yard, so it's still going to be, we'll call it 3rd and 12 from the 39-yard line for Fort Morgan.
When he looks at the film of that one, he's going to say, why didn't I keep going wide? Because they had a wall set up, and if he could have just got to the outside, he would have had lots of yards.
So 3rd down and 3rd and 12, for the Mustangs. Receivers right and left. Schneider back to pass, throws it downfield, and it's caught by Eric Kimball. And he doesn't quite get the first down. He's going to be stopped at the 50. So it's going to be 4th and 1 for the Mustangs from the 50-yard line.
Nice pitch and catch on that one.
So we'll see. It looks like Tony Swetzik coming in. So Mustangs are going to try and pin Falcons deep. See if they can flip this field position here a little bit.
Earlier in Chisholm's career, he was known more to take a risk or two in situations like this. So I wouldn't put it past him to run the fake punt, although Skyline's got all their defenders up.
We have
too many men on Skyline, but they caught it.
Skyline calls a timeout. So we're going to take a timeout with them. With 8:41 to go in the second period, Skyline 7, Fort Morgan nothing. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on B106 and B106.com. Back at Everly Montgomery Field in Longmont, Fort Morgan Mustangs trail the Skyline Falcons 7-0. with still 8:41 to go in the second period. Fort Morgan faces a 4th and 1. Tony Swetzik in the punt formation. We'll see if it's a deep snap to him or if they snap it short and try to run it up the middle. There's room up the middle. That's what they did. It's a run up the middle, and they're going to get their first down, and that was a pitch back to Richard Herrera. He takes a nice run. He's going to get it down to the 43-yard line of Skyline. So nice run there by Richard Herrera.
Yeah, if you look at their lineup, their formation, I would say definitely, I agree with you, they should have ran it right up the middle. They ran off right tackle, which still worked for them. But I'm thinking if they went up the middle, they might still be going.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a flag on the play. They've stopped they're having a conference over there on the right side, so I'm not sure just what's going on with that. We'll get the referee here in just a second. He's going to let us know. Well, Kyle, I guess that was a sideline infraction on the Mustangs. So I'm not sure just...
Oh, it's pushing the pile, not a sideline infraction.
Okay.
Where, your offensive lineman come from behind and hit and push the pile. And you see that in the NFL every day, so you can't blame these kids for wanting to help out their running back.
Yeah, you see it all the time. That's the first time I've seen it called.
Yeah.
So that's going to bring up 4th down again for the Mustangs. We'll see if that
Or are they going to stop it where the pile started being pushed? So we get the first down.
We do get the first down, and they just mark it from where the push started. That is okay.
So there you have it, a penalty for pushing in a football game.
You wouldn't think, would you? So 1st and 10 for the Mustangs from the 48-yard line of Skyline. So that's a first for me.
So who was that got that first down?
Richard Herrera. Handoff over the right side to number 25, Jared Bowman. He gets it down to the 25-yard line. Maybe that's where they're going to mark him back a little bit. So nice outside run there by the Mustangs. About a 20-yard run there for Jared Bohm.
That was very nice.
So Fort Morgan 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line. So nice march here by the Mustangs. Handoff over the left side, and Toby McBride is going to be... Yep, not Toby. It's going to be Jared Bohm going to be dropped for a loss back to the 31. So that's going to be a loss of 3. So it's going to bring up 2nd and 13 from the 31 for the Mustangs.
Mustangs don't seem to want to do anything the easy way. A couple big steps forward and then one step back.
Their best yardage gain for them has been outside, so we'll see if they continue that. I formation, receivers left and right. Schneider under center, calling out the signals. Looks to throw, and it was behind his intended receiver, Austin Cosman. Incomplete at about the 25-yard line, so that'll bring up 3rd and 13 from the 31.
Snyder paid the penalty for that. He threw the ball right as he was getting hit, and unfortunately the receiver didn't turn around to watch the ball coming. Otherwise, I think we would have had a nice game.
So 3rd and 13 for the Mustangs. They have 2 receivers right, 1 left, single back in the backfield. Schneider under center looking over the defense. Gets the snap, goes back, and he's being pressured. He gets up a little bit, runs out of the pocket, but he is going to be brought down. He gets positive yardage to the 29. So it's a gain of 2, but it's still going to bring up 4th and 11 from the 29.
Yeah, he was lucky to get any positive yards. He was hit way in the backfield, then spun around and almost got knocked down by one of his own blockers.
So we'll see what Fort Morgan having a little difficulty getting the right players into the huddle here. They're up to the line of scrimmage now. 2 receivers right, 2 receivers left. Jared Bowman single set in the backfield. Schneider looks to pass. It's a throw down the right sideline. Nice pass, but it's going to be just out in front of his receiver. So 4th and 11 is an incomplete pass for the Mustangs. So it's going to be a turnover on downs for the Mustangs. With 6:35 to go in the second period. Skyline 7, Fort Morgan nothing. So Skyline ready to get right back up to it. So 1st and 10 for the Skyline Falcons from the 29-yard line. Angstead, fake handoff, looks downfield, has all kinds of time. His receiver turned upfield, and Angstead threw a pass out in the flat. So they had some communication there, communication problems there. So it'll bring up 2nd and 10 for Skyline from the 29.
Yeah, I think sometimes offenses these days, the receivers are supposed to read the defense, and since he was covered man-to-man, he was supposed to turn to the outside, and he turned it upfield and ended up in an incomplete.
So Skyline, Angstead in the shotgun formation, receivers left and right. Angstead looks downfield, keeps looking, not too much pressure yet. He drifts out to the right. Now he takes off running at the 30, 35, to the 40, to the 45. He's going to get out almost to the 49-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds. Garrett Angstead, a 5'11", 167-pound quarterback. So he gets it out to the 48-yard line for a first down for the Skyline Falcons.
Coaching point for the Skyline Falcons. After your quarterbacks ran for 15, 20 yards, tell them to run out of bounds and avoid big hits like that. He's very tough, but
Angstead with a pass over to the right side, but that is dropped. It was in the hands of Justin Forsythe. Should have been caught. But that'll bring up 2nd and 10 from the 48 for the Falcons. Stops the clock with 6:13 to go in the second period. So 2nd and 10 from the 48. 2 backs with Angstead in the backfield. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Handoff up the middle, and not much there. They're going to give him, we'll give him 1 out to the 49. So that'll bring up 3rd and 9 for Skyline from the 49-yard line.
A little bit of that read option where quarterback reads the block that time. He doesn't seem to be reading it right. He kept it once and got tackled, and the other time he gave it to him and got tackled.
So Skyline, 3 receivers right, back in the backfield with Angstead. He takes the ball, pulls out to his left, looks downfield, nice pass, and it is incomplete down to the 40-yard line. Had a man open, but it was too low. So that's going to bring up 4th and 9 for Skyline. See if Angstead is their punter, and he stays in, so I'm going to guess they're going to punt this ball away to the Mustangs.
Kyle Daniels back for the Mustangs.
So Angstead looks like they're short a player. Not sure just exactly, they're telling him where he's supposed to go. So snap back to Angstead, somewhat high, but he gets it off. Nice punt downfield. It's going to be caught at the 10, out to the 15, and then taken down at about the 17-yard line. So 1st and 10 for Fort Morgan from about the 17-yard line.
Pretty decent field position considering that they punted from the 50. Not a bad little return.
So Fort Morgan to take over. 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line.
So a little over 5 minutes left. It's interesting to see what Coach Chisholm and the offense are going to call on this. They've had a lot of success in some lengthy drives, but just haven't been able to hit pay dirt.
So Schneider under center, hands off over over around the right side. Jared Bohm is going to be dropped at the 15-yard. They're going to put it at the 16-yard line, so that's going to be a loss of 1. It's going to bring up 2nd and 11 from the 16.
The offensive line on that play didn't do their job. As soon as Bohm had the ball, he had a defender on his back dragging him down.
So Skyline leading 7-0 with the clock running at 4:46 in the second period, leading 7-0. So Fort Morgan high backfield receivers left and right. Schneider under center. Schneider barking out the signals. He hands off over to the right side to Jared Bohm again. He breaks loose a tackle out to the 20, 25, over to the 30, out to the 35. He's still running, breaking tackles, and he gets clear out to the 40-yard line, it looks like. So nice run there by Jared Bohm. He gets it clear out to the 41-yard line. So 1st and 10 from the 41. Nice run there by Jared Bohm.
He's had several nice runs. He's got a run of 15, a run of 23, a run of 20, and a run of 25. But he also has 4 runs for loss of yards. So that's kind of how his day's going. It's feast or famine.
So 1st and 10, Morgan from the 41. See if we can take these last 4 minutes and go down and put this in the end zone. Fort Morgan T backfield. Schneider with a pass out to the flat to the 40, and it's caught. Breaks a tackle out there. That looks like that is Kyle Daniels out there out in the right flat, and he takes it out to the 40. See where they're going to put it at the 47. So that's a gain of 6. So it'll be 2nd and 4 from the 47 for the Mustangs.
Yeah, nice little move by him. That's where they throw it out to the wide receiver, and if he can beat his defender, he gets 6, 7, 8 yards. If he doesn't, yeah, it's pretty much 1 or 2 yards.
So 2nd down, handoff over the left side. Breaks through the Jared Bohm, gets out across the midfield stripe and down into Skyline territory, and it's enough for a 1st down. He picks it up by at least a yard. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for Fort Morgan from the Skyline 48-yard line.
That's where we have to hope that Fort Morgan doesn't make a mistake and get a penalty that'll stop this drive. So I think they have enough time to march down there and get a score if they don't take too much time each play.
3:32 to go in the second period. Schneider under center, hands it to Bohm around the right side. He drifts back somewhat. He's going to be brought down, and it's going to be maybe a yard loss back to the 49-yard line. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 11 from the 49 for the Mustangs.
You know, unfortunately now with 2 and 11, 2nd down and 11, the setting's not quite right, but I think Skyline's pretty ripe for the picking if we can get that tight end releasing downfield and throw on a play action. So their linebackers, their safeties are all within 4 yards of the ball.
So Schneider under center, 1 receiver right, 2 backs in the backfield. Have a flag that's going to stop the play. I guess there's going to be movement on Fort Morgan. So we'll see what the dead ball. False start on the Mustangs. So that'll set them back to the 46-yard line.
There's that mistake I was talking about. Coaches just preach that, and this is one where when they see this on film, they're going to be talked to about. Now here they had a positive drive going with 2 minutes left. Maybe they'll still make it, but 2nd and 16 is kind of impossible to expect to have much success if you face that very often.
Defensive line, Morgan likes to run the ball so well. We'll see if they can come out here and pick this up. They're getting pressure now. He gets hit, and it's caught by Toby McBride, but
Snyder, a little ginger getting up.
He was belted when he threw that ball, but it was I guess it wasn't much of a completion. He caught it in the backfield a little bit, and it's going to be now 3rd and 16 from the 49. For the Mustangs, they need to pick up a good chunk of this yardage here if try to keep this drive alive.
Lucky that wasn't caught by a defensive lineman. He was hit right as he threw, and his arm was hitting the ball. Only went about 6 yards.
So we're down to about 1:30 to go in the second period. Schneider back to pass, and he's hit when it's thrown, and they're gonna call, I would guess, probably offensive pass interference on. We'll see. It's hard to tell. There was interference there by somebody, and they threw a flag.
Well, I think the defender ran into him, and he was trying to keep his balance by putting his arm out. And we'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, they are going to
call it. They call it on. They called it on Kimball.
No, that was Wes Anderson, number 9.
Oh, was that Wes? I'm sorry. So that'll bring up. They're going to decline. They're going to decline that penalty and make it 4th down. 4th and 16 from the 49 for the Mustangs. 1:26 to go in the second period. It'd been nice if they could have driven it down. They had time. So Tony Swessick stands at his 35, gets the ball. Low punt. I think it was going to get some bounce. It drops at the 20, picked up at the 15, and brought out to about the 25-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10. 1st and 10 for Skyline from the 25-yard line.
Skyline can run that 2-minute offense, though. So Fort Morgan's got to stay with it this last 1:16.
So we'll see what Skyline comes up with here. Fort Morgan safeties are back somewhat, not too bad, I guess. Angsted's going to be in the shotgun formation. He'll have 3 receivers to the left and 1 to the right. And Fort Morgan still trying to get all their players on the field. Looks like Fort Morgan has called a timeout. So the Fort Morgan timeout is brought to you by Ehrlich Toyota East. Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Ehrlich Toyota East at 1209 Main Street in Fort Morgan will professionally fit you into the car or truck of your choice. Serving all of Northeast Colorado, Ehrlich Toyota East. Now Fort Morgan on defense. Going to have to try to keep Skyline from scoring here. That'd be devastating if they give up another score here and go down 2 scores here just before the end of the first half.
Absolutely. And I think Coach just coaching them up out there about let's be smart, let's not make mistakes, let's play our assignments. We talked on the way up about how football these days is all about everybody doing their job, not trying to do more, not trying to do the other guy's job. If everybody just does their job, they function as a team. And so let's hope we can get some pressure on Angsted and
so
maybe even cause a turnover.
Yeah, 3 receivers right, 2 left, so doesn't mean they're going to pass because he likes to run. So he's back, and he does try to run up the middle, but he is going to be dropped. Nice pressure by the Mustangs. He's going to lose a couple of yards. Going to lose 1 back to the 24. So that's going to be 2nd and 11. So nice defense there by as they did their assignment like they were supposed to. They stayed home there in the middle of the field and brought Angsted down for a loss.
I'm sure they've seen that on film where he sits up and does quarterback draw. And in a defensive play like that, they have certain defenders that are assigned as spies to watch the quarterback and come up and did, like you say, they did their job.
So 35 seconds left, handoff up the middle and brought down at the 33-yard line. Fort Morgan, I believe. Fort Morgan called a timeout, so we'll take a timeout with them with 29.6 seconds to go in the second period. Skyline 7, Fort Morgan nothing on B106 and B106.com. With Kevin Rohde, this is Brian Nickel from Everly Montgomery Field in Longmont, where the Skyline Falcons lead the Fort Morgan Mustangs 7-0. Skyline scored in the first period, and that's been all the scoring we've had so far. So the Fort Morgan, or it's Skyline with the ball, 3rd and 11 from their 24 with 29 seconds to go in the first period, in the first half. So Angstead looks back, gets the pass. He's going to be pressured, and he's going to be brought down. Nice defense by the Mustangs. And he is going to be down at the 26, or out to the 26. He's going to get a gain of a couple. So it's going to be 3rd and 8. 3rd and 8 from the 26 for the Mustangs. So that'll bring up 4th down. 4th and 8 from the 26.5 yard line.
We'll have to wait and see what Skyline does with 21 seconds left. I'm thinking they'll be smart and punt and not try it. If they were going to go for the score, they would have the first 3 plays. They pretty much just wanted to run the clock out and go in ahead 7-0. Have something positive to build on for the second half.
So Fort Morgan now dropping back. I believe it's Kyle Daniels drops back to receive the punt. Garrett Angstead stands at about his 14-yard line. So we're waiting for the refs to put the ball back in play. We're having a little discussion over here on the Skyline sideline with, I don't know if it's a timekeeper or who it is, if they're having a problem with this. There's 21.8 seconds to go. I don't know if they ran too much time off or what they're up to here.
They're talking to the coaches with headphones. We're talking to the coaches up here with headphones, and they moved it to 24.1.
Put a little more time back on the clock, okay? So Skyline in the punt formation, 4th and 8 from the 26-yard line. Angstead gets the ball, punts it. It's downfield, bounces at the 43, bounces out. It's going to be touched down at the 41-yard line of the Mustangs. So with 15.6 seconds to go in the first half, the Mustangs we'll see if they get a shot. They're going to get the ball at the start of the second half, so they may not try to do too much here with it. Take a knee and go to the halftime and try to come back and start out the second half, but you never know what they might have planned.
You know, I think as long as you have your quarterback aware that if he's got any pressure at all that he throws it away, maybe you give it a shot to have one of your fast guys going down the sideline. Of course, Skyline's already deep. Their safeties are 15 yards off the ball at least already.
So Schneider, they got 3 receivers right, 1 to the left of the back in the backfield. Schneider under center. He drops back. We'll see if they can keep the pressure off of him, and he's going to be sacked back at the 35. So that's probably the way the first half is going to end. With 4 seconds to go. So Fort Morgan will go to the locker room down 7-0 to the Skyline Falcons. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on B106 and B106.com. Back at Everly Montgomery Field here at halftime. Brian Nickel with Kevin Rohde. The Mustangs find themselves down 7-0. We're going to go over some of the 3A Metro East football standings, how they're sitting right now, and what happened last night in the league. Elizabeth right now is at 3-1. Inglewood is at 3-1. Fort Morgan is only at 1-1. Vista Peak 2-2. Weld Central at 1-2, and Skyview is at 1-3. Last night, Weld Central had a bye. Vista Peak is home with Classical Academy today, so we don't have a score on them. Inglewood shut out Sheridan last night 40-0. Skyview was at Faith Christian and probably wish they hadn't. They were beat 64-0. And Elizabeth was at home with Lewis Palmer and beat them 42-7. So some big scores there in the other games from last night. Not anything like what we're seeing today here with hardly any scoring, but Fort Morgan just needs to get their act together and get some offense going here. And, their defense has been playing great, really. Gave up 1 touchdown, but Holden Angstead. So
Right. Wanted to make a correction. I had left off Birch as one of the runners, and he'd had 2 runs for 6 yards. So, Mr. and Mrs. Birch, if you're at home listening, I apologize for leaving him out. That brings the total to 121 yards, 97 of them on the ground. You talked about the teams in our league. There's a new website out there, at least it's new to me this year, Rocky Preps. And when you go to their website, not only do they give you the standings in your individual league, but they rank the teams, and I'm guessing it's from the CHASA points for teams played. And I printed this before last night's action. And so with Elizabeth winning, they're going to move up. Inglewood winning, they're going to move up. In the 3A ranks, it appears, according to them, that Elizabeth is at 13. Of course, the Denver Post poll has them at 7th, I believe. Vista Peak, they have at 15th. And even though they're 2-2, they've played some 4A and 5A schools in Aurora. And so that's kind of where they got their points. Inglewood, you talked about winning big. They were already at 19th on this particular list, and I'm sure they will move up. Fort Morgan, all the way down at 27th. One of the disadvantages is not having, a game last week, but I think also going 1-1. And it appears that they go points per game. The rest of the league, Skyview is down at 29 and Weld Central down at 31. Skyline, the team we're playing today, is all the way down at 34. So I don't know if this reflects what what they would decide if we had to have the playoffs right now. Luckily for Fort Morgan, there's another half of a game today and another, 6 games left on the schedule. And if they run the table, then they control their destiny. A couple games to look forward to in the future that I think are going to be critical is, of course, finishing this game. I think Inglewood is going to be a big challenge for us. They're much improved. And then Elizabeth is just beating some really good teams. And their only loss was to a really good, I think, 4A team. Not really sure who they played, but so yeah, it's in the Mustangs' hands what they decide to do with that.
Yeah. Elizabeth was beaten by Canyon City 23-20 on the 6th of September.
I believe Canyon City's 4A, but I may be wrong there. They're not listed on this list of 3A teams.
So it could be they may have moved up. I know at one time they were in 3A, but have moved up in the classifications. We also want to remind everybody to receive scoring updates as they happen for Fort Morgan Mustang football games all season long. You can follow us on Twitter at B106 and turn on mobile notifications. Speaking of games coming up for the Mustangs, they will be home next Friday night at 7 o'clock against Denver North, and that will be homecoming for the Mustangs. So it would be nice to see a lot of people out there supporting the kids for homecoming. Denver North, not a real good team, but, that's when sometimes you drop your guard. You say, well, we can beat these guys without even trying, and then you end up on the losing end of the game, at the end of the night, and you just have to keep your head about you, go about them like they're, the number one team in the state, and you want to go out and just whoop on them. So they need to keep their head straight in practice this week and come out with a good game next Friday night.
It's hard to do. 2 years ago, Fort Morgan, when they kind of had their resurgence and started winning a few games, or maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it was last year when we had. No, it was 2 years ago when we beat some teams on their homecomings. Maybe it was last year, Thompson Valley. I can't remember. Years go by and I get confused. But I remember a year where Fort Morgan was pretty much everybody's homecoming.
I think it might have been 2 years ago.
And we went in and we surprised a few teams. There are so many distractions. The administration at Fort Morgan High School has done a really good job of coming up with a lot of different activities. There's volleyball games, so go and support them on Wednesday. I believe there's a bonfire and a carnival. And so you can support the Mustangs, the whole high school throughout the week. And I know the kids are really excited about all the dress-up days and the spirit. And you're right, they still have to find time to concentrate and focus on practice because Denver North's probably looking at this as an opportunity to sneak up on someone.
We're going to give you the starting offensive lineup for the Mustangs in the second half, and that is brought to you by Blodorn Lumber. At blodornlumber.com, browse the virtual showroom, view the current sales, complete a credit application, and shop the entire inventory online. In the offense today is center is Trevor Gherkin, left guard Oreo Conis, left tackle Henry Weimer, right guard Jared Henderson, right tackle Justin Wilgenberg, tight end is Austin Cosman, quarterback Joey Schneider, fullback Toby McBride, tailback is Jared Bohm, and wide receivers are Eric Kimball and Wes Anderson. So Fort Morgan will receive the ball to start off the second half, and the kick is downfield and up, and it's going to be taken at about the 10, out to the 15, to the 20, the 25, and hit hard out about the 25-yard line. We'll see who that was. I'm not sure who ran that back, if that might have been Isaiah Lopez that was deep for the Mustangs. He gets it out to the 25-yard line to start off for the second half.
One thing I've noticed throughout the game is there's been a lot of Fort Morgan players that while running the ball have taken really big shots at the end. Fort Morgan hasn't delivered too many shots other than to the quarterback, Angstead. But I haven't seen any running backs really rocked for Skyline.
So Schneider under center. Full house backfield, hands off over the left, over the right side. Nice opening for Jared Bowman. He gets out to the 35, out to the 40, out to the 45, out to the 50. Nice run by Jared Bohm out to the 15-yard line. So that's a nice 25-yard gain for the Mustangs.
25 for number 25. And that was a nice run, and he got the last 10 yards by hand fighting with the defender.
And it looked like it was kid had been watching some rodeo. It looked like he was bulldogging him down from the helmet, but it wasn't anything dirty or anything. Just the way it happened to.
It was the only thing he could get a hold of.
So Fort Morgan 1st and 10 from the 50-yard line. Handoff over the right side to Bohm. He's hit initially, and then he gets out, just back to the line of scrimmage. Looked like it was going to open up, but they couldn't keep that defensive end out there off of him, so it's going to bring up 2nd and 10 from the 50 for the Mustangs.
That time he got the hand out for the stiff arm, and the defender was able to just grab a hold of some jersey on the sleeve there and pull him down with him.
So 2nd and 10 from the 50. Good field position for the Mustangs. They need to take advantage of this. Schneider under second, full house backfield, no wide receivers at all. And Morgan moved. I don't know if it was the right guard. Somebody moved before the snap, so that's going to bring up 2nd and 15 from the 45.
And they had the right call called there. They were going to run a student body left, and they had two blockers in front of Fadoa, and Skyline was caught with no really outside defenders. It was going to be a huge gain for Fort Morgan.
So Fadoa goes out. And I'm not sure who he replaces for sure. We now have the wide receivers, Anderson and Kimball, with the backfield behind Schneider. He calls out it's a fake pitch, looking to be a screen, and it's going to be dropped at about the 40-yard line, which is probably the best thing that could happen, because if he would have caught it, he'd have been down. It would have been another loss of 5. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 15 from the 45 for the Mustangs.
Yeah, they just had such a great drive get started, and now they're just kind of fizzling. And it's hard to come up with an answer for 3 and 15, and whatever that answer is involves a little bit of risk. They got a good field position. If they punt, they should be able to pin them down.
So Schneider under center in the I backfield. It's going to be a handoff over the left side, but it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be Jared Bohm, and he is going to get just out to the 46-yard line. So it's going to bring up down 4th and 14 for the Mustangs. They will have to punt the ball away.
So let's dig back in there. He had the one punt, I believe, last game where he actually got some air under it, and he's really struggled. The rest of his have been line drives. I'd really like to see him boom one here. And they respect him. They're down about the 5-yard line waiting for this one.
So snap back, good snap. Another low kick, hits about the 29 and bounces high and grabbed at the 23. Dropped out about the 32-yard line. So now we got guys, we're going to have a penalty here. There was some, it's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct. I'm not sure who they're going to get it on. Number 14 for Fort Morgan was in on it. I'm not sure just if they're going to.
I think they caught the second guy. He felt like he was blocked late, and he rolled over on the bottom of the pile and took exception to it, and now he got 15 yards for the other team.
That's what they're going to do. So
when we saw that last week, or 2 weeks ago in that loss to Brush, you just have to keep your head. If you're hit late, too bad. You deal with it. If you're hit in the back and they don't call the penalty, too bad. You just play football and you keep going. You can't react to that.
Yeah, you got to keep your head because this just gave him 15 free yards out to the 50-yard line. So 1st and 10 for Skyline from the 50 with 9:24 to go in the third period. Fort Morgan squanders an opportunity here with a great field position, then gives it right back to Skyline. Angstead with the ball, handoff over the right side, and he's going to be brought down at the 50 for no gain. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 10 for Skyline. So nice pursuit to the ball by the Mustangs there. So Fort Morgan's defense still standing tall like they did in the first half. So 2nd and 10 from the 50. Have 2 receivers right, 2 left with a back in the backfield with Angstead in the shotgun formation. Puts a man in motion left to right. It's a fake handoff there, but Eric Kimball, nice penetration. He brings down Angstead back at the 44-yard line. Nice penetration by Eric Kimball to bring down Angstead for a 6-yard loss.
And Angstead's running back broke the cardinal rule for the option. You always stay behind your quarterback so he can pitch it. Angstead looked to pitch, and his his ball carrier was 3 yards upfield, and the linemen were all downfield, so he had to eat that one. He's maybe shooken up a little bit on that play. He's a little slow getting up. I think all those hits are starting to take a toll. Great play by Kimball.
Yeah, nice job out there at the defensive end. So that brings up 3rd and 16 for Skyline from the 44-yard line. We now have 3 receivers to the right, 1 left. Angstead in the shotgun formation from the 39-yard line. Angstead rolls. We have a flag to stop the play, and it's going to be motion illegal procedure on Skyline. So that'll set him back another 5. So that'll put him back to the 39-yard line.
So it's not just Fort Morgan that's making mistakes. But the classic example is on that last series. Fort Morgan gets all the way out to the 25 or out to the 50 on that really nice run by Bain. And then, they struggle a little bit, and then they get the procedure penalty, and now it's 3rd and 16. They can't make that. They punt, and another penalty puts them back on the 50. They're killing themselves.
So Angstead looks downfield. It's a nice pass downfield, and it's going to be intercepted. No flag. So it's going to be intercepted down about the 26-yard line by Fort Morgan.
First turnover of the game, Brian.
Very good. Goes our way.
We like that.
So 1st and 10. I'm not sure who it was that was back there. But it's 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line for the Mustangs with 7:24 to go in the third period. So we'll see if Fort Morgan can put together a drive here. They're going to have to get it together here pretty quick. See if they can get some momentum here and get downfield. So 1st and 10 from the 33 for the Mustangs. Receiver right, 2 backs in the backfield. T formation. Schneider is looking to throw. He's hit about the time he throws it. It's going to land well out of bounds. Schneider's getting beat up today. He has that arm up when he gets hit. He's getting some rib action there from the defensive people from Skyline.
And I think he can throw those a little bit earlier. Then he's waiting till the guy's past the defender instead of throwing it to be where the guy will be past the defender.
So 2nd and 10 for the Mustangs. Full house backfield, nobody wide. Handoff over the left side. And Fadoa gets a opening, but he is tripped up and brought down at about the 31-yard line. Excuse me, not the 31.
Yeah,
it is the 31. I got them wrong on where they were set up. It was first down from the 27, 28.
Yep, I got that too now.
That was just 5 yards off.
On that play, he just needed to have one guy who fell on his feet to get past that, and he would have had a nice run.
So that brings up 3rd and 7. For the Mustangs, full house backfield. Nobody wide. Keeper this time. Fadoa's open if he can get to him. Oh, and he drops the ball. Fadoa was wide open out about the 32-yard line and couldn't hang on to the ball.
And he had a blocker downfield in front of him and only one defender anywhere in the ballpark. That would have been a touchdown.
Yep.
I think at least we're very close. That's very frustrating. Now we got a punt. Let's hope that Tony can get under this one and let it fly.
So there was a great opportunity there missed. So Tony Swetzik lining up for a punt. Lines up about the 16-yard line. Nice. Gets the kick out, lands about the 35, and gets a nice Morgan bounce. It's down inside the 10. And it finally falls dead at the 6-yard line. So initially not a good punt, but it took a great bounce. So it'll be first down for Skyline from the 5-yard line.
Huge break for Fort Morgan on that special teams play.
So 6:10 to go in the third period. Skyline still leading 7-0. So maybe this will be the time Fort Morgan can get a turnover here, or stop them for no gain and get their field position back like they had in their first drive here of the second half. So Angstead, one receiver left, two right, handoff over the right side, and the running back is going to be out. Yeah, he stepped out about. Let's see if they didn't throw a flag. I thought maybe they would, but he was out at the 16-yard line. Somebody for Fort Morgan is down right behind the ref. I don't think he knows he's there. It looks like it's Richard Herrera. I can't tell just what he's.
That play, Brian, opened up right in our view. We could see right where the hole opened up. I could have driven my Subaru through that hole. It was so big. I don't know where the Fort Morgan defenders were, but he had about a 5-yard spread as to which way he wanted to go with that one. And Fort Morgan was able to get him to the sideline and get him stopped pretty quickly. It could have been a huge play.
So we're going to go ahead and take a timeout here while they attend to Richard Herrera. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on B106 and B106.com. While we were away, they got Richard Herrera off the field and ran a play here. It was a designed run by Angstead over the right side. He gets about 2, so it's going to bring up 2nd and 8 from the 18-yard line for Skyline. 3 receivers left. It's a pitch back to number 23, and he tries to get outside, and he is brought down about the 18-yard line. They have a flag thrown, which I'm going to guess would be a holding penalty on Skyline, which it is. So that'll be a 10-yard mark off from, he drops it at the 16, so it'll be marked off from there. I think that they would accept this penalty, and they do.
And in the game of mistakes, Skyline and Fort Morgan are both hurting themselves more than the other team is, and that's why we have a low score of 7-0 with over half of the third period gone. And to be honest, for the fans, it's not very much fun to sit there and watch penalty after penalty. So I think here, as we go down the stretch, it's going to be which of these teams figure out how to not make mistakes is going to win the game.
Yeah, so it looks like it's now 2nd and 18 from about the 8-yard line. Skyline looking, it was a screen pass, and it's going to be blowed up. It's caught, but it's going to be for a loss, and they're going to mark it clear back to the 2-yard line. So nice defensive play by the Mustangs on that one. About a 6-yard loss there, back to the 2.
Right, I didn't catch who caught that one, but that was a huge defensive play for Fort Morgan.
So Skyline now 3rd down and about 24. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Angstead hands it off over the left side. He breaks it out to the 10. That's about as far as he's going to get. And now I see another flag coming in from the far side. I don't know if it's face mask or holding or what they're calling it. It's against Skyline. Fort Morgan looks like they're going to decline the penalty. Another holding call on Skyline. So that's going to bring up about 4th and 15 from the 12.
Fort Morgan should end up with good field position here, and hopefully can drive down and score before they make a mistake. Because here Skyline's killed their chances. They got out of the hole. They were out to the 16, and now they got a punt.
Skyline
from the 12 after 3 plays and 2 penalties.
Yeah, if one team would just take the initiative and stop with the penalties. Oh, we have a hike over the quarterback's head. We're going to get a safety for Fort Morgan. So we get on the board 2 points. The snap was hiked way over the Angstead's head. He does fall on it in the end zone, but that is a safety. So give the Fort Morgan Mustangs 2 points, and they will get the ball back with 3:58 to go in the 3rd period.
It's probably not much worse field position than they would have had on that kick. And so what a great break for them. And let's, like you were saying before that play, let's hope Fort Morgan can put together an error-free drive and go down to score. And now, if they score, they're going to be, in good position, and the pressure's going to be on the Falcons.
So a safety there that finally gets Fort Morgan on the board. Should get some good field position here, hopefully, and take it down, put some points on the board. Premium Farm Credit is still the lender of choice for America's farmers and ranchers. They understand and are passionate about agriculture and are dedicated to serving America in good times and bad. Premier Farm Credit, the gold standard in ag lending. So now it's a free kick. Looks like they're going to put it on the tee from the 20.
Yeah, I remember watching several football games where it gets like this, and the joke is 7-2. What a great baseball game we're at. Although 7-2 are at least football numbers.
So we have 2 guys, and one about the 30, about the 25. Nice kickoff is going to go over there. Oh, we got it. Kyle Daniels takes it about the 20 out to the 25 to the 30, 35, 40, and that's about where he's going to be dropped. I don't see any flags on the field anyway. So that's going to be 1st and 10 for the Mustangs from the 39-yard line.
It's a pretty decent field position. Fort Morgan's got the momentum of finally getting on the board, albeit the defense. Here come the Mustangs, and I think this is the time they're going to go down and score, Brian.
This is it. We feel it in our bones. Or maybe that's fall sitting in. I'm not sure which, one or the other. But
we saw a lot of damage, or not necessarily damage, but trash up against fences as we came in through Frederick and then in north of Fort Morgan through the Niwot area. So we hope all of you who are listening and maybe taking a break from the cleanup duty of the floods are enjoying our broadcast.
So handoff over the right side to Padoa, and he breaks it out, gets it out to about the 44-yard line. And they're going to give it to him to the 40. Let's see where they mark it. Either the 44 or the 43. We're going to put it at the 44-yard line. So it'll be a gain of 5, so it'll be 2nd and 5 from the 44. For the Mustangs, I know they're still trying to get Fadoa out in that open area, get him running downfield. Snyder under center, full house backfield. Handoff over the right side to Boehm, and he's not going to get far, maybe across the 45. So we're going to give him a gain of 1, so it's going to be 3rd and 4 from the 45.
Yeah, I'd really like to see Fadoa run a little harder. He's really tentative out there with his running, and he needs to put a little more, I guess, reckless abandon into it. Maybe is what I'm looking for.
Yeah, don't tippy toe. You need to make a decision and go with it. So Fort Morgan now 3rd and 4 from just outside the 45-yard line. Schneider under center, full house backfield. Fake handoff, and he is going to be hit when it's thrown, but it's going to come back and caught. Should have been a flag there for interference, but they didn't throw it. But Kimball had a nice comeback to the ball and caught in Skyline territory at the 47-yard line. So nice comeback for Kimball to receive that ball.
Right, that was a really good play by both quarterbacks, throwing as he was getting hit, and Kimball coming back for it. I would like them to try and find some shorter routes or some more pass blocking because Snyder's getting hammered back there.
Yeah, that pass came up a little short because he was getting hit when he threw it. So 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. Backfield, full house backfield to Padoa out on the right side again. He breaks the corner down to the 45, to the 40, 35, 30. And he's going to be brought down finally. Let's see if they get him down to the 25, 27-yard line. So they did get that corner sealed off for him. Got him down to the 27-yard line for another 1st down for Fort Morgan.
Now we know what it takes to get him to move. He saw open territory. There were no defenders in the area, and he did turn on his speed up that sideline. Maybe he's just not used to the hitting, and he's an outside back. We need to get him outside to give him the ball. That was a really nice run.
Yep, and they're lined up again that way. Full house backfield, 1st and 10 from the 27 for the Mustangs. And Toby McBride took off too early. There's a 5-yard penalty against the Mustangs. So that'll be 2nd and 15 for Fort Morgan back at the 32-yard line.
It's not so bad on a 1st down because 1st and 15 is something that you can, you have 3 chances to recover from it. But when you get that penalty on 2nd down and you go to 2nd and 15 or 3rd down and you go to, get out of your game plan, it's really difficult. But any penalty is bad. So let's hope Morgan can overcome this one.
So 1st and 15 from the 32 for the Mustangs. Handoff to Jared Boehm over the right side, and he's going to get back to the 30-yard line. So that's going to be a gain of 2, so that's going to bring up 2nd and 13 from the 30. For the Mustangs, this is an opportunity the Mustangs need to take care of. When you get this close, you can't let these opportunities go by. Pretty soon you run out and find yourself on the short end of the stick when the final gun goes off.
So on 1st and 15, you hope to make up at least 5 and make 2nd down manageable. Now we're at 2nd and 13, so we're looking to pick up 8 or 9 to make 3rd down manageable.
So handoff to Fadoa around the left side. He breaks it down into the side to 25. Nice strong run that time. I think he gets down about the 21-yard line. So a nice strong run there for Fadoa.
Yeah, that time instead of carrying it all the outside, he saw the opening on the inside and turned it up. A very wise decision by him and a very nice gain down to the 21.
So it will bring up 3rd and 4 from the 21. 2 down territory, I'm sure, unless they want to try to bring in a field goal kicker. But looks like Fort Morgan is going to. Oh, okay. Pardon me. It is end of the 3rd period. At the end of the 3rd period, Skyline 7, Fort Morgan 2. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on B106 and B106.com. Back at Everly Montgomery Field in Longmont, the Fort Morgan Mustangs find themselves down 7-2 at the start of the fourth period with Kevin Rohde. This is Brian Nickel, Fort Morgan 3rd and 4 at the 21. Under center. Oh, and looks like Toby McBride took off two. That wasn't Toby McBride. It was number 42, and that would be Cody Birch. Took off too soon, so there goes their part of their yardage that they just gained.
So now we go back to 3rd and 9 from the 26. You know, it is 4-down territory if you can get that 4th down manageable.
So,
didn't you mention on the way here that the last time Skyline played, it was against Thompson Valley. Thompson Valley came back and scored 14 unanswered points. Yep. So that bodes well for the Mustangs as we enter the fourth quarter.
So handoff over at the right side to Jared Bohm. He is hit hard about the 26 and gets it down inside the 25. So he gets a gain of maybe 3. They're going to mark it at the 24-yard line. That did come from the 26, so it'll be 4th. It'll be
4th and 7.
4th and 7 for the Mustangs.
Well, that defensive end on the right side for Skyline did his job that time and turned him back inside. They're really out playing wide. They're boxed.
So now Fort Morgan full house backfield. Schneider, it's a fake, and he's going to be dragged down at the 34-yard line. So 4th and 7, they have to turn the ball back over to Skyline. And it looked like Fadoa was open out there. He just didn't have the time to get it out there to him.
Right, Fadoa looked like he was supposed to make a block and then escape, and he really whiffed on that, so Snyder didn't have a chance.
So 11:03 to go in the fourth period. Skyline 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. So Angstead, shotgun formation, puts a man in motion left to right. And it's going to be a handoff out here over the left side. He's going to break the first initial tackle, then a couple more, and he gets it out to the 47-yard line for a 1st down for Skyline.
Yeah, I hope that last drive not coming to fruition doesn't really throw Fort Morgan into a funk, and they're kind of hanging their heads, and that was a really nice run to start off this drive.
So Skyline now with a 1st and 10 from the 47. Angstead in the shotgun formation. It's a fake pitch, and he tucks it, and he is going to be brought down in Morgan territory at about the 48-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 5, so it's going to be 2nd and 5 for Skyline here early in the start of this fourth period.
Skyline's got a senior left offensive tackle who's 6'4", 319 pounds. And he's a big boy out there.
So 2nd and 5 for Skyline. Angstead in the shotgun formation. He hands it off over the right side. Initially hit. Oh, big hit over on the right side there. And that was my number 3. That was Alexander Perez with a big hit. And he called to throw a flag here late in. I'm not sure just what the penalty was. Came from the back judge, so I'm not sure just what holding on Skyline.
Oh, great. That's good news for the Mustangs because that contact was a great hit, but it was face mask to face mask, and I thought maybe that guy sitting way out there 30 yards away is going to be the guy that calls targeting on him. So a good break for the Mustangs. We'll take it back 10 yards and let them have 2nd down again.
Yep, 2nd down, and we've got 2nd down and 15 from the 47 this time. So Angstead with the ball. Looks downfield, still looking, not much pressure. He finally gets it over the middle, and it is going to be incomplete. So that brings up 3rd and 15 for Skyline from the 47. He had all kinds of time. They didn't get any pressure on Angstead that time, but his throw was errant and brings up 3rd down.
It's hard to figure there's no pressure on Angstead, and yet there's receivers that are out in the open downfield.
So 3rd down, 3rd and 15 here. So Morgan needs to come up with a big stop here to try to get this ball back. Take advantage of maybe some decent field position. Angstead looking downfield, trying to get some pressure on him. And Angstead runs out of pressure, 45 to the 50 to the 45. And he is going to be out of bounds. He's going to get 1st down yardage.
Well, it's going to be close. They're going to have
we'll
to measure
see where
that one.
They're putting it right on the 43-yard line, and they're going to give him a 1st down.
Wow. That was a great scramble by Angstead.
So that brings up 1st and 10 for Skyline from the 43-yard line of Fort Morgan. Have 9:31 to go in the 4th period. Angstead under center this time. He takes it and hands off to his tailback, and he gets down inside the 40, it looks like. Maybe they're going to mark it right at the 40. So that's going to be a gain of 3. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 7 from the 40 for Skyline. I think that's only about the 3rd time he's been under center.
And that's only the 2nd time Benny Jacobs has gotten the ball, and he's been a more pivotal part of the offense.
So 3 wide receivers right. Angstead keeps the ball being tipped first by Morgan, then in and out of the hands of Skyline, and then dropped to the ground. So incomplete pass. They'll bring up 3rd and 7 for Skyline.
I don't think Skyline would be in 4-down territory. I think they would punt and put us way back if they can.
So 3rd and 7 for Angstead and his crew. Pass out down to the 35, down to the 30, and it's going to be a 1st down for Skyline. He just hit his receiver out in the flat. Just stepped back and threw it out there. His defense was about 10 yards off of coverage. So it's going to bring up a 1st and 10. Skyline from the 28-yard line.
They're going to have to find an answer for the Skyline defense, because with getting down to around 8 minutes, there's not going to be time to score enough points.
So a reverse handoff to the fullback and down to the 20, down to the 15. So that's going to be another 1st down. That's a play I hadn't seen yet today. It was a handoff, and then he reversed and handed it off to his fullback, I believe, and got it down to the 15-yard line. So it's a 13-yard gain. So down to the 15-yard line, 1st and 10 for Skyline with 8:32 to go in the game. Angstead puts his man in motion. He keeps it up the middle, down to the 10, down to the 5, and he's going to cut outside, and he's going to go into the end zone for a Skyline touchdown. So Garrett Angstead from 15 yards out puts another score on the board for Skyline.
That was a really nice call, and then a really good cut as he got to the 2nd level. Faked out one Fort Morgan defender and then went in untouched.
So that comes with 8:22 to go in the 4th period. Touchdown, 15-yard scamper by Angstead for the touchdown. And the extra point is up and good. So that brings the score 14-2 in favor of Skyline. We're going to take a timeout and be back with the rest of the game on B106 and B106.com. Back at Everly Montgomery Field in Longmont, the Skyline Falcons have just put another score on the scoreboard with 8:22 to go in the game. That puts them up 14-2. Getting ready to kick off a 15-yard run by Angstead, and then the extra point tacked on was good. So now Fort Morgan has their work cut out for them. They've got to get 2 scores now in the last 8 minutes of this game. So we'll see what they can come up with. So kickoff downfield. It's going to bounce at the 10 and over the head of, they're going to let him go ahead and take it. He gets it out to about the 15. They should mark him about the 15, so it's going to be 1st and 10 for Fort Morgan.
Not sure on that. Generally, if you go into the end zone, they blow it dead, so he must have stepped in but kept the ball out. I think Fort Morgan would rather have had the whistle blown and got the ball at the 20.
So 85 yards away from pay dirt. Fort Morgan's got to get there. 8:15 to go in the game.
Got to get there twice.
So they're going to have to come out with do some passing here. It looks like they have 2 receivers left, 2 right. And then Toby McBride single back in the backfield. Schneider under center. Still under center. Now he fades back. It's going to be a pass out here to Kimball, out to the 20, out to the 25, out to the 30. Nice strong run there by Eric Kimball. He gets it out to the 31-yard line. So a 16-yard gain by Eric Kimball out to the 31. So that's a good way to start the drive. He did not get out of bounds, so the clock will continue to run. So Fort Morgan, 2 receivers left and 2 receivers right. Toby McBride in the backfield. Have Isaiah Lopez split wide right with Eric Kimball next to him. Schneider looks again, and he's going to throw it out here to Kimball again, out to about the 36. That's about the 30. Let's see if they get it out to about the 37-yard line.
That was a nice little pitch and catch, same play twice. Wonder if they're trying to set up the out and up. But I think as long as the Falcons are in somewhat of a prevent defense, don't get burned deep, they're going to give us 5-6 yards of play.
So Fort Morgan, handoff over the left side, and nothing there to Toby McBride. So that's going to bring up about 3rd and 5. Had a loss of 1 on that one. Back to the 36. So this is with 7:12. This is almost 4-down territory. So 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5 from the 36. 2 receivers right, 2 receivers left. Snyder back, getting pressure. Lobs it down the left sideline, and it's there, but it is going to be incomplete to Wes Anderson. So it's going to bring up 4th down. 4th and 5 on an incomplete pass to Wes Anderson.
And I think the receivers are giving up on their routes. It looked like Anderson kind of slowed down until he saw the ball in the air. And you've got to have faith in your quarterback, and you've got to run your route the whole way. I think Coach Chisholm has a lot of things to work on this next week before homecoming, because even Denver North is going to be able to beat us if we beat ourselves like we have today.
So 2 receivers right, 2 receivers left. Schneider rolls out to his left a little bit. Nice little pass out to Kimball. He's going to be, if they get him, he should give him the 1st down. Looked like they didn't. I believe he has the 1st down. Yes, he does. We're almost straight out from us. So nice second effort there by Kimball to get to stretch out and get the 1st down.
And that was a very good effort.
So 1st and 10 for the Mustangs, keeping this drive alive. So pass out to Kimball. He's been their target here mostly on this drive. So 2 receivers right and 2 left with McBride in the backfield. Schneider under center. Schneider takes it. He drifts out to his left a little bit, passes downfield, and it's going to be caught down at the Skyline 41-yard line. And that is a catch by number 29, Eric Flugoff. So nice catch there down to the 41-yard line. So Fort Morgan keeping the keeping things moving here down to the 41.
Maybe they'll find a passing offense in this. Of course, it's always hard in the fourth quarter when the other team starts playing back and allowing you to throw underneath. But they certainly aren't getting the pressure that they used to have.
So Fort Morgan now 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. 2 receivers right and 2 left, and he is getting pressure. About gets his head taken off, but no penalty. He is going to be sacked on the Morgan side of the 50-yard line. They're going to put it out at they're going to put it right at midfield. So that's a loss of 8. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 18 from the 50-yard line. Actually, it's a loss of, they did have it at the 42, I guess. So it's a loss of 8.
He's going to have to learn to throw that ball when he feels that pressure and go through that. Now, he's only junior. You got to give him a break, but the idea is that you go through your progression and you know where to throw the ball away.
So 2 receivers right and 2 left. McBride in the backfield. Looks downfield, getting a little pressure. Nice pass downfield and going to Kimmel, but overshoots him at about the 25-yard line. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 18 from the 50-yard line for the Mustangs. There's no doubt 4-down territory with 5:07 to go in the 4th period. And the Mustangs down 14-2. So they need to pick up part of this yardage here on this player. It's going to be real tough. Pick up 18 yards in one play. So here we go. 3rd down, receivers left and right. McBride in the backfield. Schneider under center. He takes it, looks downfield. Looks, has time. Now he's going to lob it down. He's got a nice pass there, but it is over the head. Very Klughoff again. So that's going to bring up 4th and 18 for the Mustangs. That stops the clock with 4:59 to go in the game.
And if they make this 4th and 18 and then go on to win this game, it may be the play that gets them into the playoffs.
Yeah. So they got to come up with a big play here.
And early in the season to say must.
Yep.
But I think we're there.
So 2 receivers left and 2 right. Fades back, looks downfield, and it's going to be an incomplete pass. There's going to be defensive pass interference. That's going to get them their 1st down. He was hooked out there, but coming across the field, and the guy reached out and grabbed his shoulder. So it's going to be a defensive pass interference.
May not be an automatic 1st down, though. I'm not sure. May just bring it up.
Bring it up 4th down again. So we'll see. It's pass interference on Skyline. Still 4th down.
Yeah.
So it's still going to be about 4th and 3.
A little more manageable. I'm sure Skyline's coach is thinking, what in the world were you doing out there? Pulling on his shirt, but give credit to Fort Morgan defender or offensive guy to get open and force him to make that play.
So still a big down here. Still have to pick up a 1st down here on 4th and 3 from the 35. Schneider passes, but it's going to be over the head of Eric Kimball at about the 30-yard line. So there's going to be a turnover on downs to Skyline. So that comes with 4:49 to go in the game.
And unfortunate for the Mustangs. They still control their destiny. They can win out the rest of the way and be able to make the playoffs, but it's going to be a lot harder because now they're going to have to beat
they'll have to beat Elizabeth
and also some good teams. The league is much improved over last year, I guess is the way I would put it.
So 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line for Skyline. Hankstead in the shotgun formation. He hands it off to his back. He gets it out to the 40, out to the 45, out to about the 49-yard line. So that's going to be a 1st down on that run. That's by number 23. That is Benny Jacobs. So they're finally putting him to use a little bit here at the end of the game. cut it out to the 48-yard line. So that was a run of 13 yards. We have 4:40. He ran out of bounds, so the clock is stopped with 4:40 to go in the fourth period. Angstead in the shotgun formation. It's a keeper by him across midfield, down to the 45, down to the 40, down to about the 36, just inside the 36-yard line of Fort Morgan. So that's another first down. So 2 runs, 2 first downs. They're going to mark it right at the 35-yard line.
Fortunately, Fort Morgan is just looking like they're worn out and aren't really putting forth the effort that they need to at this point. 2 runs of 13 yards in a row is not the way to end the game.
So they're taking as much time as they can off the clock here. We're down to 4:13 and counting in the game. And they're giving instructions to Angstead to watch that backfield judge when he starts doing the countdown to go ahead and do it, and he is. And it's a handoff over the left side, initially hitting the backfield by number 72, Arreo Canas, and then brought down at the 46-yard line, 36-yard line, excuse me. So there's going to be a loss of 1, so that'll bring up second and 11 from the 36.
First good defensive play on this series for the Mustangs. They need to get 2 more stops, force them to punt, and then I don't know what the answer to 2 minutes left on the clock and needing 2 touchdowns.
And they're not using any of their timeouts, so they're just kind of letting it go right now. So waiting for the backfield judge to, there he goes. So Angstead in the shotgun formation, looks back, looking downfield to pass, and he lets it loose down the left sideline, and it's going to be just over the fingertips of Justin Forsyth. He was about a yard over his head, or it would have been another touchdown.
Well, that was the right call at the right time, just didn't quite execute. It's hard to hit that receiver that's just so wide open, but you have to find a way to touch that ball in there. He had the Fort Morgan defender by at least 5 yards.
So the clock stopped. 3rd and 11 from the 36.
4 receivers right. What a formation.
4 right and 1 left, and Angstead drifts out to the right side, looking downfield. Still looks, no pressure, and it was incomplete. Nice defensive pass play there by the Mustang secondary. So that'll bring up 4th and 11 from the 36 on an incomplete pass. So 4th down, 4th and 11 from the 36. Fort Morgan needs this big stop here. And that stops the clock with 3:07 to go in the game. Skyline up 14-2. It looks like, I don't know if they're going to, I wouldn't think they would punt, but they trying to figure out who they brought in here. I guess Angstead is still out there.
I could see him punting, probably punt it, coffin corner, try and get it out of bounds so you have no return, and then say, okay, you got 3 minutes, try and score twice.
So snap back, Angstead looks to pass. He's going to be brought down, though. Nice defensive play, brought down at the 48-yard line. What a mistake by Angstead. He should have at least got rid of the ball.
Loss of 16 on the play. That was just the absolute opposite of what the coach probably told him to do.
So that'll be a turnover on downs to Fort Morgan with exactly 3 minutes to go in the game. So this is the time now for Fort Morgan to move the ball downfield. And they'll have to do it quickly because they have to score twice in 3 minutes. So from there, from the 49, it's 1st and 10. 2 receivers right and 2 left. Jared Bowman in the backfield. Schneider looks to throw, and he gets it out. A complete pass to, Kyle Daniels, but it's only for a 1-yard gain down to the 48.
And worse, it's inbounds, so the clock continues to run.
So Fort Morgan needs to hustle it up here. Schneider back, looks downfield, trying to get his pass down the right sideline, but it's going to be, should have been intercepted by number 7. That would have been Dylan Cram. right in his hands, and I guess that's why he's playing defense and not offense, because that was right in his hands. So that brings up third down. 3rd and 9 from the 48.
Yeah, hope is fading fast for the Mustangs. 3rd and 9, needing to score. Going to have to get the onside kick back. You keep playing like you always have hope, and
Yep.
we're going to continue to watch them and hope they score. But it is getting towards the end.
So receivers, 2 receivers left and right. Schneider looks downfield. Nice pass out to it was incomplete, out to the far sideline. So that's going to bring up 4th and 9 from the 48 for the Mustangs. This is do or die here for the game.
And Snyder, that was his 25th pass of the day. And a lot of people like to blame everything on the quarterback, but to his credit, he has stood in there and gotten hit play after play after play and tried to deliver that ball. A lot of his passes have been a little off target, but I can't blame him when you're getting hit. And Fort Morgan's going to have to figure out how to protect the passer and how to reestablish that running game in the weeks to follow.
So 4th and 9 with 2:23 to go. Schneider rolling out to his right, gets it downfield, but it's going to be knocked away. It wouldn't have been enough for a first down anyway. So that was intended for Eric Kimball, but that's going to be a turnover on downs, an incomplete pass. So 1st and 10 for Skyline with 2:17 to go in the 4th period. Fort Morgan didn't even take a minute off of the clock, which would have been good if they could have kept the ball and taken down and scored, but it's now 1st and 10 for Skyline at the 48-yard line.
I don't know how many timeouts Fort Morgan still has.
So pitch back to handoff to his running back, and he's going to get maybe just past the line of scrimmage. So it looks like they're going to say no gain, so it's going to be 2nd and 10 from the 48 for Skyline. The clock running, 1:56, and Fort Morgan not looking to stop the clock. So 2nd and 10 from the 48 for Skyline, and they're just letting the clock run down as far as they can. So Angstead in the shotgun formation. He has 2 receivers right and 2 left. So there's a snap back, and it is going to be a handoff to his running back, and he gets it out to about the 50-yard line. So that's going to be a gain of 2, so that'll bring up 3rd and 8 from the 50 with 1:18 to go, and the clock is still running.
I know Fort Morgan had used some timeouts earlier in the half. Another situation where, maybe there was a mistake or the wrong person was out there and they had to call a timeout. All things that they can work on and improve as the season goes on.
That's for sure. Angstead in the shotgun formation, handoff over to the left side, and his run down to about the 47-yard line of Fort Morgan. So that'll bring up about 4th and 5 for Skyline from the 47-yard line of Fort Morgan.
Should be able to run the clock almost down to under 10 seconds and then maybe take the penalty and run out the time by scrambling around and sliding down.
So we're down to 22 seconds to go. They will have, they don't look like they're going to have to run a play the way they're congratulating. Yeah, I'm not sure why they're doing it. Somebody called it. Skyline calls a timeout with 12.3 seconds to go. I guess they're going to let the JVs come out and get the last play of the game. Or at least offensively anyway.
Angstead's still in there. I think it's their punt team.
Okay.
They do platoon and have a whole new 10 guys come in.
So we're down to 12.3 seconds to go. Skyline leading 14-2. So Fort Morgan has next week to look forward to, some work to be done. Some improvements need to be made. And I don't know if this comes from not playing last weekend. Both teams didn't play last week. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but they'll get their heads back on straight this week. And
let's hope. I'd say 2 weeks ago, the same things kept them from having success.
So Angstead with a punt, and it's going to bounce at about the 15-yard line and picked up by Kyle Daniels. He gets it out to about the 21-yard line with 2.2 seconds to go. So Fort Morgan we'll see what they try to do here. It'll be the last play of the game.
It'll be interesting to see, kind of a test of Coach Chisholm's staff to see how they can coach these kids up and get them to not be too down on themselves, but also to help them realize that they need to start taking responsibility and keying on their responsibilities and not making mistakes. So they played a pretty fundamentally solid game other than the penalties.
So Schneider under center. He's got receivers left and right. Fades back throws it down the right sideline, and it's going to end up out of bounds and incomplete to Eric Kimball. So that will bring this game to an end. Skyline 14, Fort Morgan 2. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on B106 and B106.com. Back at Everly Montgomery Field in Longmont, this is the High Plains Bank postgame show. Hometown service on a higher plane, that's High Plains Bank. Visit the friendly staff at 502 Central Avenue in Wiggins for assistance in opening a loan, equity line of credit, or checking account. See what over a century of customer service can do for you at High Plains Bank. A disappointing loss here for the Mustangs, that's for sure. Get beat by Skyline 14-2. Never really did get close to scoring. Had a lot of opportunities in positive territory, but just couldn't get it down to the end zone. The scoring for the game started off with Skyline scoring with 8:18 to go in the first period on a 3-play drive, touchdown pass to Benny Jacobs. And that made this with the extra point, and that made it 7-0. And that's the way the first half ended. Not much scoring going on. In the second half, with 9:24 to go in the third period, with 3:58 to go in the third period, Fort Morgan got a safety on Garrett Angstead. Fort Morgan had backed him up deep, and the snap for the punt went over his head, and then he fell out and in the end zone. And so Fort Morgan got a safety. That made it 14-2. And that's or 7-2, at the end of the third quarter. And then with 8:22 to go in the game, Garrett Angstead ran it in from 15 yards out with the extra point, and that made it 14-2, and that's where the scoring concluded. So Fort Morgan needs to going to have to work on their offense here. Their defense, I thought, really played pretty good today. They hold them to 14 points. Skyline had scored. I know against Thompson Valley they'd scored 28 points. Skyline came out on the short end of that, but the defense, I think, right now is a strong point for Fort Morgan. They just need to work on that offense, work on their penalties. Their penalties kill them. They'd get in positive yardage and then get dropped back 15 yards or 20 yards and have to try to make up for that. So I guess Kevin has got some stats here for us for the game.
Right. My first reflection is you talked about the offense. I think the line has to figure out how to protect them and be more consistent on their blocking. I think they have some positives there. I agree with you. The defense is pretty solid. We had one, I'll say it, stupid penalty of a personal foul, and I guess that was on a punt return or something like that. But, other than that, I agree with you. Let's look at the stats. For the second half, Fort Morgan ends up Let's see, Joey Snyder has 6 completions on 17 attempts for 52 yards and no interceptions. He runs twice for a loss of 18 yards. Of course, I don't know. I'm not an official statistician. That might go against his passing yards rather than his running yards. Those were 2 sacks. Jose Fadua finally gets going and gets 5 carries for 39 yards. Toby McBride in the second half just 1 for -1. And Jared Boehm 5 runs for 30 yards. Eric Campbell in the second half catching 4 of Snyder's passes for 33 yards. Daniels 1 for 1. And Flughoff 1 for 18. So Fort Morgan didn't quite do as well second half as they did first half on the running game, the passing game a little bit better. As far as Skyline goes, I just have their total for the game. They passed for 72 yards on 6 completions, 18 attempts, 1 interception, and they ran 32 times for 157 yards, which is right at 6 yards per carry. And that's what we're going to have to figure out a way to stop.
Yes, it shows you that the defense really did a pretty good job there. Only 72 passing yards, although there was some drops there that probably should have been had. But Fort Morgan is going to have some work to do and get back to practice this week. Have a full week of practice and get ready for Denver North next Friday night, which is homecoming. And we're going to take one more timeout and be back to finish up this post-game show on B106 and B106.com. Okay, back at Everly Montgomery Field in Longmont, where the Fort Morgan Mustangs have fallen 14-2 to Skyline. Reminder, next Friday night is homecoming against Denver North. So Fort Morgan will have some work to do this week and hopefully have a victory next Friday night for their homecoming. It's always nice to end on a positive note on homecoming week. We're going to go ahead and close out this broadcast. The engineer for Fort Morgan Mustangs football has been Braden Godin. Coordinating producer is Brandy Ingersoll. And producer for Mustang Replay is Alan Lance. Once again, the final score, Skyline 14, Fort Morgan 2. You've been listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on B106 and B106.com.